guys, they'll leave their house. You know, they up here making big dollars, making all this money. They leave the house and then they woman slide out and get with somebody else. Or even these dudes, you know, even if they do have a woman who's somewhat in order, they'll go and slide out, deal with another man's wife. I mean, that's all wickedness according to the scriptures, man. Hey, man, we want a new heaven and a new earth that abided in righteousness, man. You know, thievery, adultery, man, all kinds of stuff, man, all kinds of wickedness, man. We don't want to embrace or inherit a kingdom like that, man. That's right. Because anybody who embraces this so-called white man's kingdom right now, that's what they embracing, man. Mm-hmm. They embracing hell instead of righteousness, man. That's right. You want to keep reading on it? Yeah.
But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee.
Look at that. That's letting you know right there. See, the Most High is letting us know. He's giving the characteristics of his people right here, right there in the scriptures. The house of Israel will not hearken. So that means that truth, you're dulling your ears to this truth, man. You don't want to embrace this, man. Go ahead,
For they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
Hey, man, you know, harden your heart to this truth, man. You're not embracing this truth whatsoever, man. So when somebody comes out with these truths, you harden your heart to where you don't even want to abide in it, man. You can tell somebody straight or even present it to them in their face. Hey, man, here it is, right here. Here's the truth. You harden your heart to it. It's like, nah, I want to eat that pork chop. I don't need all that other stuff you talking about. Give me that pork chop. All those things that are contrary to the law.
I tried to tell a guy the other day on the job about it, and it just so happened I pulled up over there on the job, and as soon as I went up there to approach him, you know, I was going over there to drop off an order. He telling me, you know, he was over there reading his scripture, so he come up to me. It was just something just happened to this other guy. The guy had passed away, but he was just come up to me telling me, it was just so strange because I had just told this guy last week. And he had just gave himself to the Lord and got saved, you know. And so yeah, I'm standing there, I'm just listening to him talking. I'm just letting him talk, man. He just going on, and then he said, you know. So I kind of like cut him off and started telling him, you know, about the truth. And so, and he started listening a little bit, but then he went in, and I went in there and tell him that he was Israel.
Yeah.
He said, no. He said, I'm a Gentile. I was born a Gentile. I'm going to be a Gentile till the day I die.
Hey, man, that's an example, man, of a hard-hearted person, man. That's not willing to hear that truth, man.
Then he had some Edomite book that he was reading along with the Bible and telling him the breakdowns of the scriptures. He said that's how he get his understanding.
And see, and that's how Jake go off. That's how Israel goes off, man. They go to every other philosophy. That's what we've been doing from the beginning of time, man. They've been adopting all these other nations' philosophies, not knowing that if they stick with their own philosophies, the Most High start to lift them up, raise them up.
Yeah.
Give them that power back, man.
Yeah.
You see, the other nations knew how to bring Israel down. Like the story of Balak and Balaam, man. They knew that if the Most High was dwelling with Israel, they couldn't be defeated, man.
Yeah.
But as long as they adopted the philosophies of those nations, man, they knew the Most High would withdraw himself and they would go down every time, man. So that's why it is imperative that we stick with these scriptures. Hey, cast off other philosophies. Hey, man, cast away that Christmas, the Easter, the January 1st New Year's, because that's not your New Year's.
That's right.
Man, you got to cast off birthdays, man, because that's not according to the scriptures. You got to cast off Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is not according to the scriptures. All these holidays that this society embraces, it's not according to the scriptures. There's nothing in there. The so-called July 4th, that's not according to the scriptures. That has its origins up there with the Syrian star. That was between that time, July 3rd and July 7th, was the independence of Egypt, and the 4th was the pinnacle of that day. And so now, over here in America, we have embraced the philosophies of the Egyptians, which we came out of captivity to them long ago, man.
That's right.
Doing July 4th, Independence Day, man. That's not according to the scriptures, man. That's not our peace. Our peace are the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. doing the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Weeks, you know, the Feast of Tabernacles, man, Day of Atonement. These are the things that we should be doing, man.
That's right.
You got some more on that?
Nah, that was pretty much it.
That was it on it? Bring it.
You know, like the brother was saying earlier, man, why wouldn't you want to be an Israelite? You know, and the one thing with our people, man, is that the danger of people that know they're Israel, one of the biggest things is that believing that other nations can be saved and receive everlasting salvation. What you're basically saying is that the Most High played us. Because that means that we would have been better to not be under the law, not receive the curses and punishments under the law, and be a heathen and still get everlasting salvation. So we actually got, that means that Israel got played in the whole thing.
That's right.
You know, because an Edomite can basically be wicked, exceed in their wickedness, and then still inherit an everlasting kingdom.
Right.
As a nation, as a people.
That's right.
That doesn't make any sense, you know? So, I mean, the whole thing with this right now, man, is that, you know, this whole thing is coming to an head, man. This is about, you know, the key players in this thing is Jacob and Esau.
That's right.
And since Esau then took over and came up in the Renaissance, this whole thing has now been focused on the whole world. Even the whole world knows when they look at Babylon, they know that there's two sets of people that are at odds with one another. The so-called, you know, Negro, Hispanic, and Native Americans, which just with Trump bringing it out now. Just with Trump and bringing it out, now that put the Northern Kingdom in focus too. And then what was already happening with the Southern Kingdom, especially with the whole thing with the police shootings, which we know all that is partly drummed up, you know. We know that it's, because that's been happening to Jake for hundreds of years. But now it's coming into focus because we're at the end, and these are all, you know, part of the prophecies, man. So in fact, we could just go start off at Genesis 25. Let's get to 25, for Jacob and Esau.
This is Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. And the verse came out red, all over like in hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
Yeah, so that's the birth of Esau. This whole story, everybody says the Edomites are done away with. They say, you know, that, oh, it don't matter anymore. No, it does matter, because this is all part of the prophecies. The Most High, his word it does not go out void. When he says that something's going to happen and he's going to do certain things, you got to actually explain when did these things happen. You got to go into the prophecies, the history of our people, and also, like the brother was bringing out, our enemies. You got to know your enemies too. You know? So when it says the first came out red like a hairy garment, that's just referring to how Esau looked when he came out the womb. He lacked pigmentation. So his blood showed forth through his skin like a red garment. Okay?
Right.
Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Yeah, his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, which is Yahweh, you know, which means basically supplanter. All right, so he basically held up on his heel because that was a meaning of what was going to come in the future. So go ahead and go further on.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Yeah, when she buried him. And when you go into further on, go a little bit up, go into the when she was pregnant, they were fighting in the womb. It's the same spot there.
Yeah, it's right there. Separated in the vows.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start at 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why I am thus? And she went to inquire of the Most High. And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner of people, meaning you got 2 different types of people that are going to act differently from one another. And that leads to conflict, man. If you naturally put 2 different types of people that are completely different from one another in all aspects of living, thinking, the way they approach things, and you put them in the same place, they're never going to come to an agreement. And what our people is trying to do is they're actually trying to come to agreement with the people that are so different from how they are.
Right.
You know?
And the one people shall be stronger than the other.
Yeah, so one people shall be stronger than the other. that was what was prophesied, that the Most High was going to have one people that was stronger than the other, which even our people even agree that even don't believe that we're stronger than what people would call the so-called white men, but they are known as Edomites, according to the scriptures. They would admit that. Even they admit that. Even Edomites admit that we're stronger than them.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
Yeah, that's right.
If you go to a college football, go to a college football and look at the weightlifting records on the wall and see who did the highest squat, the highest bench press, the highest clean and jerk. All that stuff is going to be Jake at the top.
That's right.
And you know, there's going to be Jake at the very top owning all them those records.
That's right.
You know? And then even stronger mentally, man. The hell that our people catch and they're still able to continue to overcome, that shows us that the Most High built our people to be strong enough to withstand adversity.
That's right.
Because He only has given us what we can handle as a people. You know, and we can handle a lot, as you can see what's happened to us, you know, throughout history. Okay? Keep going.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
Yep.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Yep.
And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment.
Yeah, so we already went into that,
Yeah.
you know, with that history. Now, what we're going to do is going to kind of go into what was the whole meaning of Jacob holding Esau's heel. So we can go to a second Esdras. We'll start at like, what, verse 7? Because right here is a conversation that Esdras, who was a man of the Lord, a prophet, who was talking, you know, with the Most High through one of his servants, the angel, about what was about the state of our people. Because at that time, our people were in captivity. And at that time, you know, he was asking, when is this going to end? Okay? And this is an important question, because a lot of Jakes ask us, well, when is it going to happen? Because Jake, we exercise patience, man. That's one of the fruits of the Spirit.
That's right.
Jake wants it to happen tomorrow. Because if you told Jake, hey, look, tomorrow we're going to take over everything, Jake will be ready to line up, man. Yeah. We're ready to line up and go to war. Because they would think, well, look, you just told us that it's going to happen tomorrow, so we're going to all get together and let's make this thing go down. But it tells you in the scriptures that you got to wait upon him.
That's right.
Until he rises up to the plate. So go ahead and go into that.
This is 2 Esdras chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times?
Yeah, what should be the parting asunder? What should be the sign of the times? What's the parting asunder? When is this going to end? You're going to go further on and just say it.
Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followed?
Yeah, so when is going to be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followed? Meaning, when is the time of our captivity is going to end? Because Esdras understood the prophecies. He understood that our people had to get jacked up and we're going to go off and we're going to go into these different captivities. But he also understood, according to the prophecies, that there will be a time when that will be over. So what he wanted to know was, when is all this captivity and the hell that we're catching as a people, when is it going to end? Go ahead.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Yeah, Jacob's hand first held the heel of Esau. Okay, so that was symbolic about something going on.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
Yeah, so Esau is the end of the world. Everybody wants to know when the world is coming to an end. Even right now, people are thinking the world is possibly going to come to an end because of what's going on right now on the planet. And a lot of people are sensing that. That's why you got a lot of people that are putting their trust in things like the election, believing that somehow, some way, that if they go to the ballot box and they vote for some man, that something's going to change when everything's already been orchestrated.
That's right.
You know? Whether the Most High is orchestrating it, but he has people on the earth that act out different things.
That's right.
Such as your so-called elites. They acting out things that they think they're doing on their own, but it's really going to bring about the end of the world.
Right.
All right, which the end of the world, that word there for world, is not talking about the planet, it's the end of an age.
That's it.
That's what it means, an end of an age, a time period, which is what Esdras wanted to know about.
That's right.
Okay? And, do you finish that? Esau's the end of the world and Jacob the beginning of it that followed? Yeah.
Keep on.
Read that part again.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
Yeah, so when someone tells you that Esau has been done away with and the Edomites are done away with, then that would mean, because that since Esau's done away with, that means that Israelites have to be in rulership. There has to be an everlasting kingdom on the planet. So that's something that people can't, can't get around. We would have to be in that power seat, so to speak. Get me Hosea 12:3 real quick. We would have to be then in that power seat if that's the case.
That's right.
Because then you would have to say, now you'd have to figure out, like the brother was talking about, who are these other nations? Who are the people that are ruling the planet? What nation do they come out of according to the scriptures? Mm-hmm. And then show us the prophecies that they're supposed to rule. Because they say it's Japhet. Japhet doesn't even have many prophecies in the scriptures. You sure don't have prophecies about him ruling and taking over the children of Israel.
Right.
At least on this level. Because we weren't scattered and taken into captivity amongst all nations. But this right here is something completely, out of this world. So this is something that's completely, something that we've never experienced before, man. Being scattered to another side of the world, by ships, which is prophesied in Deuteronomy 28 verse.
That's right.
28th chapter and 68th verse. So go ahead and go into that real quick.
This is Hosea chapter 12, verse 3. He took his brother by the heel in the womb.
He took his brother by the heel in the womb. That's talking about Jacob, taking the heel of Esau. Keep going.
And by his strength, he had power with Yahweh.
He had strength, he had power with Yahweh. So that means he was going to get that power with the Most High, man. That was a promise in prophecies, man, that he was going to get that. In fact, go to Genesis chapter 35 and verse 10.